My names are Michael Smallz Munyoki, and I was one of the 3 directors of Untying Kantai. I directed episode 4, 5, 6, 7.5, and 8. So apart from directing, I was also in the brainstorming session for Untying Kantai. I hadn't plugged in as soon as they started in 2020, but around 2022 is when I came on board and we continued with the brainstorming session. Oh man, my directing style, I honestly don't know what to call it, but I begin from the audience. I don't know how that sounds, but I put myself, when I read a script, first I look at it like I'm an audience at home watching the movie and how I would like to consume it. So each and every scene, I look at who's in the scene, who's acting in the scene, who has the power in the scene, and how would I want my audience at home to feel about the scene. So I look at my scene, post-edit, post everything. Yani, you're already at home watching it. That's how I see it in my head. So that's how I work my way backwards from watching it at home all the way back till shooting it on set. So apart from directing, I am still an actor. Lakini si plans ni za jioni.
Jioni, kwani hii relationship ni biashara ya mutura?
Still very strong. Yes, so please call me for work. So yes, I am an actor and director and assistant director. I feel like so first I began as a background actor, and then I felt, wow, there's so much that goes on behind the camera that I don't know about. So I was like, wow, can I plug in some way, somehow? And I saw this assistant director's role and I fell in love with that position. I loved the power that this person has. I loved the way that this person makes a whole gang of people rally for one common good. It was so impressive to me, and I thought, you know what, I want to do that. So I have my experience in acting, I have my experience in assistant directing, and I knew but at the back of my mind, I knew one day I want to direct. But you know, whenever you always think about these big moves in your life, you're always like, when I'm 50. Like that was me. I was like, when I'm 50, I'll direct. When I'm 55, maybe. Like when I have enough experience, I've learned from Philo, I've learned from Abel, I've learned from all these directors, and I've put it all together, and I've come up with my own directing style when I'm 55. So that's what I thought. And come in, click, click, bang.
Tayari kupanda, situpige show.
When I had a conversation with Phil and we saw that we can actually do this together and see how I can start directing, and I never saw it coming this soon, first of all, and I never saw it coming in this kind of a way. So to answer your question, my acting background helped in the sense that when I'm a director, I know what the actor struggles with. I know what I would like a director to tell me in order for me to perform. I already know as an actor, the best example I can give you is, as an actor, I know how I want to be treated, so I take that first into my directing style. The second thing is, I'm also an assistant director, and in that line, the set is mine. I run the set, schedules are mine, call sheets are mine, time is mine. The shots, how many shots the director wants to take, I have to discuss with the director if he wants more, if he wants less, what can we do to achieve our common goal. So basically, as assistant director, I'm the glue between production and whatever happens on set and making deadlines meet. So if you combine being an actor and being an assistant director, so that means I know what the actor wants and I know what the crew needs. So when I mash that up into my directing style, I feel like like that's a better way for me to have handled it ever since when. I never thought it would happen like this, but it just so happened that it was such a beautiful rhythm. Yeah, so now I feel like I'm a force to reckon with as a director because of my acting and assistant directing skills. Oh man. First of all, as a director on Click Click Bang, I was co-directing with Phil. That means every decision we would make them together. And we'd move together as a single unit, as one brain. But now in Untying Kantai, now he had to let me have my own brain, have your own ideas, have your own ways of interpreting the script and interpreting it to the actors and the crew and meshing all of it in one. So to answer your question, it has been terrifying. It has been a very big learning experience. I don't take any of it for granted, and I've come to learn that directing is all about being able to commandeer a whole army of people to one common goal. So it was hella scary. It was so informative, and I'm learning each and every day, even as a director, even right now, as I'm looking forward to up and coming projects that are coming up. All I feel is I need to learn more. I need to learn more. It's never done. At first, we were a bit worried about how it would look, but then we realized that we have worked together quite a bit before. We are youths of a common goal. We are not too far. We are not too far from each other. And another thing is we are actually really good friends. So the sheer fact that, you know how show me your friends and I'll tell you what kind of person you are, it's the same thing. If it walks like a duck, same thing. It's just that we already have the proper synergy. Me, Phil, and Kenji. We already are of the same mind almost. So initially, yes, I was a bit worried about that, but pre-production really helps because we worked on this together. Even straight from brainstorming, Phil, Kenji, all those guys were still there in the brainstorming all through, which is so important, and it's something that I learned from Phil. In other projects, maybe as a director, you plug in some time later, but in Phil, that's not the case. You have to plug in straight from storylining so that by the time you're getting into shooting, all of you are of one mind, which is what we did. So by the time we're getting there, mind you, we created these characters together. So by the time we're getting on set, really, I know what Kenji's thinking and I know what Phil was thinking because we did this together from the beginning. So it was just passing the baton on way smoothly. And yes, the pressure was there because, is that the next question? No. Okay, cool, awesome. Yes, the pressure was there because you can imagine, Mazi, getting your episodes from Philo. And then you're supposed to hold it down until Kenji gets them. Another thing is Kenji and Philo both have more experience than me in directing. So that was a point for me that I needed to put my A game. And I hope and I pray that I did just that, and the reviews are saying that is exactly what happened. It was amazing. I put my best foot forward and it was cool, but also stressing another point, we didn't change the cast, we didn't change the crew. So you see, that's another thing. When you have a dedicated cast and crew, even if you keep changing the director just a bit, and the director's here to mentor, where he's somebody who has worked with them before and was there from storylining, and they still may adjust with the crew and everyone. Just like I said, director ni kurali a whole gang of people to one goal, and the crew and cast were for that goal. Whew. So for me, well, we used to argue quite a bit with the DOP, right? But it's just because I want to see something and he wants to make sure that my picture is seen well. You see, at the end of the day, what we were both arguing about was how do we make the project look better, which is an argument I will take you on any day. Let us argue the whole day about how each of us can make this better. That is fine. So we would get into our own scuffles, but at the end of the day, we would always find a middle ground. I'm a very compromising director. I believe I need to get what I need to get, but I also need, the DOP also needs to get his shot, and his shot also needs to look good, and we also need to achieve the story. So I do compromise a bit when I'm with the DOP, but that's also because I've worked quite a bit with the DOP. I know there's no possible way that this DOP is going rogue, making his own showreel. No, he's for the story still and everything. So yes, we did have our loggerheads, but it was always how do we make it better. I was ready for it to go either way. As the director, man, sink with your boat. We believed the idea was good. We believed the story was good. We did not sit back and ask ourselves, how do we half-ass this show? How do we half-ass a content to Kenyans? How do we make sure when Kenyans see this, they don't feel like this is the best show they did? We didn't do that. We went out to get the best. So I believe that if you go out and try and do your best, then basically people will feel it. People will resonate with it. So to what we did to make sure, I wasn't sure. to be honest. I wasn't sure it was going to go either way. We dealt with drugs, sex, the church. These are the pillars that we are working with. When you're touching on and family, such crime, such pillars, when you're working in such pillars, definitely there's going to be some lashback or something like that. But we were true to the story. I believe if you're always truthful in whatever it is, be it in life, be it in the movies, be it in what, as long as you're true, then I don't think people will really, there will never be negative lashback. It'll be like, okay, sawa, it's a bit, but amesema ukweli. And that's what we went for. The truth. When an actor becomes creative, I love it. I feed off that ish. I feed off it. I love it so much because it means you have embodied that character. You know it. Let me tell you, as a director, I even tell my actors, I tell them, listen, I am the director. I have my vision. But trust me, nobody knows this character more than you, not even me as the director. You're the one living this life. So when you go off script and go off and you improvise, you ad-lib, oh my God, me as the director, I know you did your homework. Because as an actor, you cannot improvise if you do not know your character. You cannot go off script if you're not in character. You can't possibly do that. So the only way you can do that is if you know your character. Go wild. If by any chance you go off too much, feeding off into other scenes or giving off stories of other episodes or what, I will come in and tell you, now listen, that was beautiful, but don't tell the audience ABC. You give off the story. Make sure you mention ABC because we need that for the future scenes. So that's all I do. But when you do that as an actor, oh, thank you. I'm in love. Personal experience. Personal experience is one. With the drug scenes and church, I also really, for me, church, it's really personal experience. I don't mind answering these questions one bit. I have my experience with the church, and it was really important for me to bring out the elements of church and the things that are happening in church so that I can give open the eyes of my fellow comrades on what is actually happening behind the cloth. So that one for me it touched on a very special place in my heart. And for me, it's because I have a history of the church. I have a history of I have been shunned out of church. I have been excommunicated from church. I have been fired from churches. And at the time where I felt that I needed the church the most is where they abandoned me. So it was personal for me. About the drugs. After the church shunned me, I got into drugs. So yes, I have the experience with the drugs. I have a lot of friends who are up to now still in drugs. A week ago, we went to get a friend of mine out of rehab. So this is something that I'm living up to today. And I'm just praying that I don't have to return him back to rehab. So yes, the drugs and the church, they are personal items to me. Yes, I do. And I really, really do pray that our message reached home, because we didn't do Untying Kantai just for entertainment purposes. It's not just for you to see, oh my God, Maduya, oh my God, these actors are cool, oh my God, Pascal, oh my God, Blessing, no, oh my God, no. There's a message that we're trying to get to our audiences. Do you guys know about these Maduyas that are actually drugs that are actually being sold? This is an actual true story that we were shooting. Yes, we did come up with these stories, but they all came from a perspective of real life. These things are being sold to your children. They are being sold to the youth. They are being used by the youth. The church is taking advantage of us. The church is doing all these things. The church is abandoning you in your time of need. So yeah, you're actually supposed to learn from these shows, because the church is actually taking advantage of you. The church is making money from you. Do you know what happens to your offering? Can the church do more? Are we just starting churches just for profit's sakes? Like, I did this show because it's so personal to me. There's crime in this show. Do you understand that these things are actually happening right under your noses? It is happening. So all the pillars of Untying Kantai, apart from entertainment value and of course shock value and everything that you see, please learn from these things. This is actually true stories that we were telling. All of us in the writer's room were giving personal experiences of things that happened to us that built the show Untying Kantai. Yes. Okay. So at least that one goes as way back as continuity and script supervision on set. So we have a continuity person and a script supervisor. When we shoot, from the 2 or 3, 1, 2, 3 takes that we do,
6, 7,
8,
comes to
19. I will not move until I get what I need. Yes, so what I do is I'll tell the script supervisor, print that take. This is the best take. Use this one. Tell the editor this is the best one. Yeah. So it starts straight from there. And when we go into edit, if I see that take wasn't used, I'm also there to. For me, and okay, I know it sounds small, but it's the sheer fact that nobody noticed the shift in directors. That one for me, because if you told me you noticed that something, and in fact sometimes I even get like, oh my god, episode CG what? Maze was fire. I'm like, damn, that was my episode, man. You know what I mean? So for me, the best thing right now, I'm like, I was in between 2 amazing directors. Na sikuwaangusha. So for me, that one, I love it. As a director, what is next for Michael Smallz Munyoki? Michael Smallz Munyoki has just started his own production house company called Serious Play Films. Yes, so Michael Smallz Munyoki is now a CEO, director, executive producer of Serious Play Films. What you should expect from me moving on forward is many more movies. I want to do our own stories, and not just our stories. I want to do pre-colonial stories. Yeah, that's where now you have Smallz. Yeah, I want to do everything past the Mzungu. No part. I just feel like we have so many stories before the Mzungu came, and it's my job to do it. So I don't have any bad blood. I have Wazungu ni mabeste zangu, but you have to agree there's some things we have to go back, okay, and figure out. Then we come back here. And that's my job. So that's what I'm going to do at Serious Play Films. We're going to be majorly focusing on pre-colonial stories, game shows, documentaries, and we're going to do a lot of partnerships, mostly joint ventures, as we'd like to call them. A lot of joint ventures between Serious Play, Feel It TV, and Cool Kids, which is Kenji's company. So there's going to be a lot more coming for YouTube web series is coming as well. We're going to do a movie before the end of this year. Yeah, from Smallz, man, it's about to get crazy. For season 2, what I'd like to see with Untying Kantai, I'd like us to go past other counties. Let's go shoot in other countries. Let's go shoot in other counties. That I'd like to see. I'd like to see Kantai in Lamu. I'd like to see Angel in Lodwa. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's see how this series looks when it goes out there. Untying Kantai is one of the best shows that you are ever going to watch and learn from. Did I get 10?
Yes.
Oh, I hit 10. Yes.
Okay,
Woo. Now I talk to my people. Yo, what's good, my Kenyan people? This is a reason why you should watch Untying Kantai. I don't know whether you know this, but Untying Kantai is an original Showmax story. Do you know what that means? That means it was made by Kenyans for Kenyans. That is very important for you to support and watch, because the more that you do that, the more that we get our opportunity to tell your stories. All right? So that's something indeed that you must watch for and look out for. One of the very few original Showmax stories.